Asked a question.
How does McKinney measure and address traffic?
Here's what I found.
Assistant City Manager Jennifer Arnold works with the teams in charge of measuring McKinney traffic and doing what's needed to keep us moving.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a big question. I guess I'll first start by saying we categorize, and most cities do this, we categorize our streets based on type. So you'll have an arterial roadway, collector roadway, or residential roadway. We actually master plan our arterial roadways.
What's an arterial roadway?
Yes, so an arterial roadway is a designated roadway. It's going to be your typical 4 or 6 lane road through the city. So if you were to look at McKinney on a map, you would see some major roads that are laid out predominantly in a grid system. So think of Stonebridge or Virginia or El Dorado or Lake Forest. Those are all what we would consider arterial roadways. And we actually master plan those roadways, meaning we have a big map that shows where we know they exist currently and where we think that they will eventually be continued and constructed. And that really does help drive a lot of what our engineering department does to determine where we need to maybe look at building a new road or increasing capacity. And that's where things like traffic counts and traffic studies come in.
How do you measure when traffic is getting to a point where we need to do something? We need to address this. And then how do you decide what to do? I'm noticing some roundabouts showing up in town, which is that you open up next door and everybody's, what the? I don't live in Europe.
Yes. Well, so every 2 years, the city does traffic counts on all of our major arterials. So again, that's the Lake Forest and the Virginias of the city. And those traffic counts help us understand what the volumes are. They are broken out by segment. They help us understand what the daily volumes are on a particular roadway. In the world of engineering, traffic flows are measured in what we call level of service. So level of service A is the best. It means that there's free-flowing traffic, you've got no congestion, and then it goes down in grade from there to level of service B, C, D. And that is really the guidepost for our engineering department to say, hey, our arterials are flowing at a good level of service. We continue monitoring them, but there are going to be times where we see that level of service is starting to dip, or we have a projection of growth or development that's kind of indicative that maybe we need to look at adding some capacity on a road. And then they keep a pretty big list, a log of all of our roadways, and they prioritize those to say, here's the ones that we think need the most immediate attention versus not. And then they'll present that through an internal review committee. Our city council will get an opportunity to weigh in on it, and that's how they determine where they're going to spend city dollars on roadway projects.
How are counts measured? Sometimes you see the hoses laid out across the street, but I haven't seen those a lot lately. Are we going more to cameras for measuring volume?
No, we're still old school, still use the tubes. You'll probably only see them once every 2 years because that's when we do our traffic counts. So yes, if you're ever driving and you hear that little ta-tunk going over a black tube, that's what it is. It's their counting the traffic movements.
Most people know rough traffic locations in McKinney. Like it's easy to say, well, 75, 380. What are the hot spots? Do we have any areas of focus right now?
You nailed them. 380 and 75. Custer as well is one where we see quite a bit of volume. I think on Custer in particular, I want to say I took a note here. Volumes on Custer, we see about 40,000 daily trips on Custer. It's significant.
If you're curious about other places in town where surprisingly large volumes of vehicles travel, you can go to a city webpage, mckinneytexas.org/traffic. There you can see all the data. Scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a link to Traffic Count Dashboard. There you'll see that Hardin Boulevard has about 14.7 thousand vehicles per day. Lake Forest at nearly 19,000 a day. On Alma, it's almost at 20,000. Virginia Parkway, 22.5. El Dorado, 24,000 travelers per day. On Custer, as mentioned, 40,000 per day. Then you look at the highways. US 380 comes in at the very top with 54.3 thousand vehicles per day. And State Highway 5, about 23,000 per day. Elsewhere on the same page, you can find links to things like FAQs and contact information if you have feedback on any given street or upcoming road project like roundabouts.
Some folks may not necessarily know that road maintenance and road obligations are not all just city, even if it's in the city. So US 380, US 75, those are highways that we have shared responsibility for. Custer is an FM roadway that is actually maintained by TxDOT. So not all roads in the city of McKinney are just McKinney's responsibility.
I did a little search on Grok. AI makes things. You can be really lazy
you can become
now,
an expert, yeah.
But I want to make sure it's not hallucinating. So obviously, the US 70 or the 75 and 380 already mentioned. It says 380 at Custer Road, as you mentioned. 75 at El Dorado Parkway. That's another one. Anybody that's ever tried to go to Dallas or come back after a shut, that's where everything seems to back up.
Yes.
Well, the wagons in McKinney been slowing down, slowing down. The wagons in McKinney going too slow for me. I need a good traffic light to keep my trusty old horse moving along these dusty streets. Well, those wagons in McKinney been stopping my way, stopping my way. Those wagons in McKinney leading my horse astray. If we only had someone to get these streets under control, maybe this trusty old horse could hit the water hole.
Is there anything that you know of or have heard of that might positively impact those bottlenecks that we just identified? I know there's the Spur 399, the 380 corridor.
Yeah, I mean those are huge, and you know those roadways are regional roadways. They are not just contained within the city of McKinney. And our state partners are actively working on design for both of those roadways, both Spur 399, which Segment 1 is under construction. I come in on Highway 5 every morning, so I'm feeling the burn, or the pain, rather. So we'll start with Spur 399.
Yeah. Describe that for anybody who doesn't know. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's far away. I'm up in Stonebridge Ranch, Crimson Ridge, so the Custer thing immediately resonates.
Yeah, you get it, yes.
Spur 399, what is that?
Yeah, what is it? Where is it? So Spur 399 is a spur. It's where 75, 121, and State Highway 5 all converge together.
By the hospital?
By the hospital, yes, down by Medical City or Medical Center McKinney. It's the southern entryway into the city of McKinney, and there's a little segment that spurs off of that intersection, and that is called Spur 399. And right now, that is Highway 5 is under construction or reconstruction. That's a TxDOT project. Right now, the construction is starting there at that interchange of Highway 5, 75, 121, and goes to Elm Street. But a part of that, people probably are not recognizing, is a part of that is also construction of Spur 399. And that will be just there at the intersection of Highway 5. And then ultimately, Spur 399 will get built from Highway 5 and go all the way around on the east side of the airport, the McKinney National Airport.
Then there's the 380 corridor improvements. That thing has been described on social media as everything from a 27 lane with a train track to it's just going to help buffer some of the traffic. What is the picture on that?
Yeah,
one?
it's a limited access roadway. So think 121, think 75. I haven't seen the designs for it in many years. But it will be a true freeway highway section.
When you say limited access, does that mean tolls?
It could mean tolls. I don't know if that decision has been made yet. But what limited access means is it's more of a highway section with frontage lanes. So once you're on until you hit the next exit. We don't expect, what we've heard from TxDOT anyways, is that they don't expect any portion of 380 to be under construction really any time before 2030.
You mentioned funding, and that seems to be the hot button these days, right? Growth. It seems like this council, a lot of them are land developers. Maybe when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail is one of the critiques that I've heard. It seems like growth is always go. Let's continue to grow. That's going to continue to impact traffic. It's going to continue to impact utility, you name it, right? Is it possible, should we expect to see a bond measure come up for road improvements?
I think anytime we have a bond election, it's highly likely that we're going to see roads in it. I think a lot of folks, when they think about their city, some of the first things they talk about are how are the roads and how are the parks and open spaces. I mean, those are the two big ticket items that we hear about quite a bit. So, but I would say growth is definitely an indicator of money that we might need to build roads, but by and large, our arterial roadway system is built by developers when they develop. It's actually an obligation of development that they have an obligation to build the roads to serve their project. A lot of what we do within the city is we try and, if there's a strategic partnership with a particular development or project, the city might say, hey, we will absorb the construction of this roadway segment. Or if we are looking at existing roadways, let's say Virginia or El Dorado, and we notice that traffic flows are starting to slow down, that's when we might look back and go, we might need to reconstruct this road. We might need to add a lane to this road. And little known fact for folks is the roads that you see on the ground today, a 4-lane arterial, actually has space to add additional lanes. We look at the median, and those medians can get modified to allow for lanes. So if we ever needed to add lanes to an arterial roadway, we try not to go out. We try to build those lanes in.
As mentioned, the city conducts a comprehensive traffic study every 2 years, with 2025 being the last one completed. This includes traffic volume, average speeds, and the amount of crashes. A residential speeding problem is identified when 85% of vehicles are driving 5 or more miles per hour over the speed limit. When that is seen, the city can dedicate more police to the area, and public outreach might also be undertaken to encourage safer driving voluntarily. You may notice the small cameras mounted on streetlights. Well, since 2019, the Texas legislature banned the use of those to write tickets, but they still come in handy for studying McKinney traffic.
We have a little over 115 signalized intersections in the city of McKinney, and about 100 of those have cameras on them. Now, those are live feed cameras, and what they allow us to do within our control center is to evaluate if there are backups or if there needs to be a signal adjustment. It's our ability to manage the operations of those signals. So yes, we do have those, and we use them. It's what helps us to know when a change needs to be made at a signal.
Different ways to handle different traffic bottlenecks and problems. Simple as a stop sign, could go to a light. What's up with the roundabouts?
Yes, so roundabouts are a great tool for managing interactions at an intersection. I know that some people love them, some people hate them.
You have one right outside City Hall here
We
now.
sure do. We've got two.
Okay.
Some people love to hate them. But if you look at it, there are certain intersections that we can look at. And we'll start first by saying sort of how do you know when to go from no signal or no traffic control to a stop sign versus a signal. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on traffic volumes and flows. We have very active residents. We engage with them often about how things are going. So when there's a backup at certain intersections, we get the calls. And it's kind of a trigger to allow us to know that maybe we do need to go out and do a specialized traffic study or a specialized traffic count to see how an intersection is functioning. Some of the benefits of having a roundabout is it creates more seamless traffic flows. You don't have to wait at the light. If there is a crash within a roundabout, it's usually less serious because you're moving at slower volumes around the roundabout. And the design and the aesthetic of it can sometimes be a little bit nicer than just a traditional signal. So it's not to say that one is necessarily better than the other. It's really a question of, do we want a traffic signal or do we want a roundabout? Where are the conflict points at the intersection? What are the volumes? Is there space to provide a roundabout? And then they'll go in, and our engineering team will do a study. Anytime we're making any kind of improvement like that, we'll try and do a public meeting with residents so that they can kind of have an idea of what's coming and weigh in on that. I think short term, the cost of installing a roundabout is obviously going to be more expensive than putting in a traffic signal. But the long term maintenance and functionality of a roundabout I would tell you far outweighs that cost.
So you're saying a roundabout is more expensive than a traffic light?
Yes.
But there's no electricity, there's no ongoing cost,
But you're having to completely reconstruct the road. So think about a traditional intersection to put in a signal. We have all kinds of conduit and things under the ground. So you're just putting up the pole and electrifying it so that it functions. Whereas if you wanted to do a roundabout, you actually have to tear up the road and reconstruct it to be the roundabout.
In researching this podcast, I found some good online resources for anyone interested in seeing what traffic looks like right now along the major highways. DriveTexas.org is the official text portal for free access to traffic cams all over the state. You can see if there's a backup or accident before heading out on a trip to just about anywhere. I'll put a few of these related links in the description of this video.
What's the best way for a citizen to contact the city if they feel like, I think you guys missed the mark here on this roundabout, or hey, maybe have you considered a traffic light here?
Yeah.
Is there a good place to?
It's a great place. I mean, we've got lots of great places. I think first and foremost, at every city council meeting, there's an opportunity for residents to come out and make public comments. But if that's not your style, we have a lot of online forms, or not forms, but online portals where you can go write an email or post a comment. So our engineering department has a dedicated email address. Our city manager's office does. Our city council even has a dedicated email. And it's all online, and we try to make it pretty easy for folks. So all they have to do is go online, type in contact me. There's a little space on the website.
I'll put the links up in the description to show people where to go. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. It was nice talking to you today.
Yes, likewise.
Well, the wagons in McKinney been slowing down, slowing down. The wagons in McKinney going too slow for me. I need a good traffic light to keep my trusty old horse moving along these dusty streets. Well, those wagons in McKinney been stopping my way, stopping my way. Those wagons in McKinney leading my horse astray. If we only had